days you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto on Elvis in the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. I'm really excited about tonight's episode, as I always am, to be honest. And I was thinking about the naming of the show, and I was talking with my middle king, Nate, on Sunday, and we had gotten up early and kind of did the whole song and dance. We'll get to that later on in the show with the Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report. But I was wondering what to name it, and we were talking, and I was just, man, Nate, that was a dumb loss. And I was just so mad about it. He's like, yeah, Dad, that was a dumb loss. And it was funny because, you know, I had just said it last week. It's a week-to-week league, and, you know, you can be up one week and you can have the highs of the highs, and then the next week you're down in the dumps. And it's crazy how this league can take you on this little bit of a roller coaster. But true to form, I promised Nickel City Crew, I promised DT and the rest of the bunch on the Fam Appreciation Week that I would enjoy the ride, that I would embrace this trip with the Buffalo Bills, with the 2023 Buffalo Bills. So true to form, I'm going to stick to that and kind of just ride this train and ride this roller coaster with the team. Joining me tonight, riding shotgun, as always, my co-host, Adam Dump Truck Rupsick. Check him out on Instagram at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, DT. I mean, the Bills out in London, isn't it? And it was just, oh, golly, man. I mean, it was crazy, man. I mean, I know we'll get to the tailgate report at the end of the show, but we got up for that game, man. We got amped up for the game, and it was a performance that we'll go into, but it was definitely a little bit less than what we desired, because that just was a dumb loss and just a bad loss across the pond, and I'm looking to shake it off next week.
Hey, bruv, you know, we're back, Nickel City. Back again, another week.
Click, clack, we back, bruv.
The season is in, you know, full locomotive mode. We're fucking flying here. You know, every week it's faster and faster, and before you know it, we're into the holidays. Yep. Gloomy week here in Buffalo. As I was talking to you pre-show, you know, we're rain and in the 40s all week long, and a gloomy game on Sunday. As you know, it was fun to get up and feel that, and then it was just kind of the wind was out of the sails. And last time we played Jacksonville, I went down to Jacksonville for that. I don't know if you remember that on the crew, and you know, great trip planned, and it literally rained for 3 straight days in Florida.
Yeah.
In early November, it was cold, it was rainy, and then the Bills went in and put up 6 points. I think it was 9-6, whatever the bullshit was. So
9-6.
Man, this Jaguar game is really, you know, they're adding up to be. It's not a coincidence anymore, Rob. So we'll get into it tonight. But good to be back on the crew. Let's get in and shake it off. Let's go.
Yeah, man, you're right. Let's try to shake it off and get back in the house out of the cold, because in the rain, because that's definitely what it felt like, you know, on Sunday to watch that game. It was crazy. 11-7 at half. The Bills couldn't get anything together, and they couldn't get anything going. The really one of the main takeaways that I had from this game, DT, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, was the offense. The offense, I just felt like they let the defense down. You guys all know I'm an avid WGR listener, and all week long they're talking about, you know, when's the last time the defense lost us a game? And they kind of went all the way back to like 13 seconds, you know, a few other games, but really the defense has been so solid, and it was the offense that has let us down in some key moments, and it was really the same way on Sunday. No type of rhythm. no type of execution in respects to getting themselves in shorts down and distance, extending the chains, moving the chains, as I always say in the stadium when I'm sitting at my seat, move the chains. I'm yelling out for the offense to kind of get them going. Nothing like that. I mean, everything was just staggered. Everything was hard for them on Sunday. And I can't take away from it anything other than the fact that the offense just let us down in that game. I mean, there was so many ample opportunities for the Bills to get back in it, to get Jacksonville on their heels, and it just never happened. They weren't doing anything spectacular against us or anything like that. It was a situation where we really couldn't move the ball. We couldn't sustain drives. And it kind of got to a situation where at the end of the game, it looked good, and you're putting up stats at the end of the game, but Jacksonville's kind of in a prevent. They're more in a shell, covering everything up. When the game mattered the most, those first through three quarters, the Bills could not get anything moving on offense between Dorsey, Allen, and the rest of the offense. It was weird to see, man. It's something about this Jacksonville team, like you said, that is just like a bugaboo for us because we couldn't move the ball, DT. It was not anything pretty on offense for the entire day.
Well, it definitely wasn't the defense's fault on Sunday. I mean,
no.
the Jaguars ran 80-some plays, were on the field for almost doubled up in possession time, and the defense really held in with, street players.
We'll talk about,
to lock up. But, an opportunity for the offense to kind of go in there and dominate and have, where this defense, was going to stop them, and they weren't going to put up 40 on us. So thing where, hey, Josh, go in there and score 24 points and you probably win this game by 10, and right. They really weren't able to. You said the word I think I took out of your intro there is rhythm. The rhythm was not there in any regard. It was hard to get the offense rolling. In coming into the game, they had 4 3-and-outs the entire season, and they started off with 3 in a row. Didn't even have a first down to the end of the first quarter. And with that, it was as time expired in the first quarter, and right. Then they punt, 3 plays later. So still got nothing out of it. But it was frustrating to watch, and something that, this would be very hard you'd have to really dig in and do a lot of research on the play-by-play. But it seems like this team is just they love getting into 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 and these running. I don't know if it's not running the routes to the sticks or finding the zone. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like they're always right in front of the stick. Like they're not getting over it, and that's something where a guy like Josh Allen is a feel guy. Yes, he's talented and precision, but he plays a lot of his game just, by the feel and the swagger of the game. And when, as you've seen his success, he's better when you get rolling. And that probably goes for the same for any quarterback in the NFL. If you're moving the ball and rolling, you're probably going to play a little better. But it just seems like we were right at that stick and couldn't get over it. And we're throwing for 3-yard gains and rushing for 1-yard gains or negative yard gains and really getting, it was boxed in a little bit. So frustrating to watch, especially after, the injuries we saw and everything the defense did to kind of keep us in that game, and was really frustrating, kind of blow through the door. But how eerily similar was this from the last Jacksonville game?
It was crazy.
I'm in that stadium, literally sitting there all right, we'll get it going now. Okay. we had our BS. We'll get it going now.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, same deal. All right, come on, we'll get it going now. We just put up 48 on the Dolphins. All right, we'll get it going now. And it literally never happened. I mean,
never happened.
The one drive in the first half to cap the touchdown off was okay, now you got to come back in the second half, getting the ball with a chance to go up and take the lead on that, and really probably put it away in the third quarter. And same deal. So frustrating to watch all the way around. The offense has got to figure that out because. Credit to the Jaguars. They did what they had to do to win that game. But down the stretch here, you're going to be going against some offenses that, aren't going to put up 11 points and hold that to 11 points. It can be 24-31, nothing quick if the offense is going 3-and-out. So something they got to get back to the lab and work on.
Yeah, no, it could have been worse. I mean, for sure, the Jacksonville Jaguars weren't cooperating with the Bills. It could have been a way more crooked scoreboard at the end of it, and it was interesting to see because of the fact that you're kind of stealing some of my notes again, DT, because it was weird. Some of the first drives, I mean, 3 and out first 3 possessions, DT.
Yeah.
And like first one is cooking, and then I hear the commentator, Rich Eisen, who doesn't do, he's more of a host of a show. He's not really a commentator. I know I heard some Bills fans kind of giving him some grief because he was shitty. Listen, he's talking about, oh, well, maybe Josh put a little bit too much zip on. I need you to catch that. I need you, James Cook, to catch that ball, keep the sticks moving for your offense. It's the first drive of the game, and he drops a pass that goes literally in between his hands. Then on the second one, you're talking about the sticks. Dalton Kincaid, he doesn't get many opportunities. It's been, the consternation to many Bills fans and why is his involvement in the offense so little and stuff like that. He's short of the sticks on his first catch. 5 yards, we need 6. And he's right there on the sidelines at the sticks, and he can't get and extend out. And then the last one, Dawson Knox sticking one hand up in the air, trying to make a circus catch when I really need you to just go up with 2 hands, be strong, and come down with the football. It was weird because all 3 were drive killers. All 3 brought out Sam Martin and the punt team, and it was just like, man, we keep giving them the ball back in respects of the fact that we're not applying any pressure bust pipes. You know what I mean? The way that we busted that Miami game, DT, was because of the fact that we kept scoring. We kept the pressure on Mike McDaniel. We kept the pressure on. They couldn't keep up with us, period. There was no point of it. I mean, after 14-14, they had to abandon the run game because we were literally scoring too fast. And it was a situation where they couldn't even stick to their script anymore. We didn't apply any pressure to the Jags. We didn't make them work for shit. And it was really frustrating because those drive killers early on are opportunities where you can extend drives, you can build some continuity, you can get some confidence. All of those types of things work in synergy together where you're literally staying on the field, getting your rhythm like you talked about. We couldn't do any of that. Everything was start, stop, start, stop. And then the punt team's coming out. And it was just really, really frustrating to watch. Not only just the first half, but the entire game really until late in the fourth quarter when, again, the Jaguars were kind of helping the Bills by backing off. And then obviously, Josh Allen comes out and makes some throws down the stretch. But before that, man, it was just very stagnant. It was very stutter step. And it was really, really frustrating to watch. I mean, that was a really frustrating game to watch, especially being up early in the morning. It was frustrating as hell, man.
Rob, no matter what the game, no matter what the opponent, a crucial start is key. I mean, you're looking at a team like the Jaguars who, may be a playoff team this year, and again, credit to them for getting it done. But a game where you could have won by 2 touchdowns, pretty handily.
Easy.
And, you go in there and keep them in it and then can't get in a routine and then it's too late and you lose a fluke game. Or, it's a team where you got to get a fast start like the Dolphins or like the Chiefs or the Bengals or the Eagles. And you go in there and lay an egg and you're down 24-0, So no matter what the opponent, if it's a fluke, shitty team or a good team, you got to have a good start. And that's, I think, what, the difference we got to start seeing from this offense of, there's some pivotal things and, the success the offense had. I mean, same with week 1. It was a very similar type of deal with kind of laying it all on and seeing what happens. When the defense played well, put us in good spots, the offense could kind of loosen up and get a routine and get it going. In this case, the defense held their own and the Bills never had awesome field position on the start. But those are, with $300 million quarterback, that's a 12-play drive. We need you to start orchestrating.
Yeah.
That's something where it's like, it doesn't matter what's going on. We need to get a drive together. Even if we come away with 3, that's crucial in that situation to kind of keep the confidence and keep it rolling. But punt. And then, 4 punts in a row is super uncharacteristic on a team that the past 2 years has scored more offensive touchdowns than they punted.
Yeah.
It's not a recipe for success for any team, especially the Bills who kind of key off that early start and that vibe. And 17 plays his best when he starts to get that swagger and like, okay, we can screw you guys up today. So I'm going to make it personal to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting because, when I look at it, you're absolutely right about the starts and different things like that. I'm wondering about another thing, DT, that has been a hot topic this week between Bills Mafia. And I'm wondering what you thought about it, because this 12 personnel thing is starting to grate on my nerves just a little bit. Now listen to my theory on it. I'm wondering if they are taking their best weapons off of the field in the name of personnel and in the name of some type of package and what they're trying to accomplish. So I understand that Dalton Kincaid is the shiny new toy, so to speak, but we haven't been using him like it. Anyway, he hasn't had many targets or anything like that. But the 12 personnel, just having him on the field means that somebody, a wide receiver, chiefly, is not on the field. A Deontay Hardy, a Trent Sherfield, somebody that is with speed, somebody that can threaten the defense vertically or even horizontally and vertically is not on the field in those situations when you're running that 2 tight end set. I'm starting to wonder if this is something that is not working for the Bills, and if it's something that they're either Ken Dorsey is intentionally putting this and ramming it down teams' throat, so that way, opponents have to prepare for it coming up that they're facing, or if it's a situation where he really thinks that this is the key to unlock something in the team's offense. We were great the last couple of years. We have been a potent offense, one of the best in the league under Dable, one of the best, really just period in the entire NFL when it comes to offenses and efficiency and first downs and yards and throwing the football. I'm starting to wonder if this 12 personnel is kind of congesting, kind of bottling us up in the sense of a way that we're more focused on the personnel as opposed to taking advantage of what the defense doesn't do well. And I think that is a dangerous game to play, because I don't need you to be in 12 personnel just for the sake of being in 12 personnel. I don't need you to trot out, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid just because you want to have the King Kong brothers out there. I don't need that. I don't need, all that type of stuff looks cool, and I understand it. But if it's not working, I want to see something different. And that's, again, one of my problems with Dorsey is because of the fact that I don't sometimes see adjustments. Last week I did. At Miami, he's adjusting on the fly. He's got a great fluid game plan. He's putting Josh Allen in situations to be successful. And then this week, it seemed like it was just more constipated, DT. Like it was a stuck offense, and it was no movement. There was nothing that was changing with it. And a lot of times it's 12 personnel. I'm wondering is if it's the culprit. I'm wondering what you think about it, because I know it's been a hot topic between Bills Mafia, and I'm just wondering what you think about it, because I am not really a fan of 12 personnel instead of scoring points, if that makes any sense. Like I want the most explosive offense on the field. If that means that Dalton Kincaid doesn't get many snaps, or he split steps with Hardy and Sherfield, fine. I don't care, but I don't need you to turn yourself into a running team that you're not, or pretend to be or look like you're a running team that you're really not. And we all know that they're not a running team, but we'll get to that later. But I just wanted to know what your thoughts were with this 12 personnel, because they have literally drafted this man. They went up in the draft to get him. They told us that he's supposed to be Cole Beasley, just bigger and more athletic in that respect, but he's a bigger targeted Cole Beasley. And I'm just not seeing it, DT. And I'm wondering if I will scrap it, or if this is something that they're, intentionally putting on tape for defenses down the road.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm sick of hearing about it. Like it's 12 personnel, 12 personnel, 12 personnel. Like, and it is what it is, but it also is just a gateway for, I'm not trying to stand up on a hill here with Nickel City and say we're bigger fans and bigger know football more than anybody else, but it's just a gateway for people to think, to act like they know what they're talking about when they talk about football. Like 12 personnel, oh, that's 2 tight ends, like they're some guru of the offensive playbook. And you go into last year when the Bills started to struggle in the offensive side, they were running no 12 personnel. That was a thing where they never ran, and now they're running a lot of it. And we've seen some success, not week one, in the middle weeks, we've seen some success. But you talk about the main asset of that in Dalton Kincaid being a Cole Beasley. Well, Cole Beasley was the one, getting us first downs, in the middle of the field, getting us first downs, getting to the sticks, safety blanket to go
drives.
to. And it might take a little while for Josh to, earn trust in that. But right now he's not, he's not that for the team, or he's not that for Josh, or whatever the case is. So if that's the vibe you want to roll with, and that's kind of your key contributor to it, it's not there. You also have Dawson Knox, who, makes plays, but also has some drops, had drops on Sunday too. So if you're putting the game in these guys' hands to get this rolling, and they're not making plays for you, then yes, it might be something that you need to look at and change to. But, it might be the reverse end of that, Rob, of if they put out the other personnel, it's not there either. I mean, maybe they can't trust Deontay Hardy. We don't know. We haven't seen shit from the dude. We don't know if you can trust him or not.
They barely play.
And Gabe Davis is, puts up the stats, but is a liability on that one drive that we really needed to get going. He drops the first down play as well. Man. So, other than 12 personnel, you put the other weapons out there. Maybe they're the 12 personnel is the most trustworthy, and that's why they're doing it. So that's the way but in that case, then that's not good because, this team is not looking, strong in either direction. And then whatever personnel's out there, if Josh can't trust anybody but 1-4, that's an issue. So that's really what they got to break down. And I agree. If they're just running it to run it, nobody should be for that. And, you'd be crazy to say you should be for that just to get it going until it's established. But if they got to force feed something because, as the season goes, 1-4 is going to get bracketed up. You see it every year and he's still going to get the ball and they're still going to go to him. But there has to be other options. And right now the other options are, Gabe Davis, yes, but really what else? It's kind of a crapshoot to get first downs. In those days of Cole Beasley being Dalton Kincaid, well, then start getting those first downs and running 12-yard routes, not 3-4-yard routes. So
yeah, it's interesting because I'm not exactly sure. I don't even claim to be a football guru or anything like that. I don't want to act like I know more about football. You're absolutely right. But one of my things is that if something is not working, I want to see a pivot. I think is really my main thing, and that kind of leads into this other thing that that's kind of been sticking in my craw. DT is this whole thoughts of McDermott, and he he talks about this a lot. 12 personnel locks in with it as well. Even though Dalton Kincaid is not a blocker, so it really doesn't make much sense to me. But I just hear about balance a lot. I hear McDermott talking about balance a lot. DT. I hear him talking about how he wants to run the ball more effectively. I've heard that years in the past with Dable. There's a lot of rumblings out how Dable and McDermott didn't really get along because McDermott wanted to run the ball more and Dable was more just high flying. He wants to throw the ball, get the ball downfield, score points, which is, again, the object of the offense. That is their job, is to score as many points as possible, put the defense in advantageous situations where they don't have to worry about too much in that respect because they're playing with the lead, they're playing from ahead. And McDermott just likes this balance thing, and he talks about it a lot. And he talks about how he wants to be balanced in their approach and balanced with their attack. And I don't give a damn about balance, DT. I am here to stand on the rock of the pulpit right here at Nickel City Crew. I don't care about balance. I don't care about the run game. I don't care about James Cook in respects to how many yards he gets and how many yards per carry. And he's got all these. I don't care about any of it. I want to score points. I want to attack defenses. I want them to be afraid of the Buffalo Bills when they get out there on the football field. I want them to be shaking in their boots in the secondary, shaking in their boots, wondering how are we going to get after? How are we going to create pressure to slow down 17? How are we going to create pressure in the back end as well to make sure that we are disguising our coverages to confuse him because of the fact that this is a situation where we are not a team that is a power run team. We are now. I know we made upgrades on the offensive line. We talked about in the offseason, DT, and the offensive line's a little bit meaner and different things like that. They've got more edge, and we all like that type of thing. That doesn't mean that you have to run the ball for the sake of running it. I want to run it more efficiently. Sure, anybody would want to run it more efficiently. I don't want to run it more, DT. I don't need a 50-50 split at the end of the game. I don't even need a 60-40 split at the end of the game. I need more points than the other team at the end of the game. And I'm wondering if McDermott's defensive posture, his defensive mindset is starting to creep in to Ken Dorsey's side of the ball. And it's really interesting because, again, there were rumblings that Dable and McDermott did not get along towards the end of Dable's tenure because of the fact that, McDermott was such a strong proponent of running the football. I wanted to get your thoughts on it because I think that 12 personnel kind of marries into that same conversation of, let's get two tight ends on the field. Let's be more effective running the ball. Let's let's give the defense looks that we look like we're ready to run the ball and force them to bring guys down in the box and all this other stuff. I just want you to line up, put your best players on the field, call your best plays, and go score some points, man. I'm all about offense. I'm all about throwing the football. I don't need balance at the end of the day. That does not – the teams that are in the Super Bowl or in the Final Four, the championship games, they're not all about balance. It's not about running the ball. The Chiefs don't run the damn ball. They don't care about running the ball. They care about Mahomes being in a situation where he can get the ball to Kelsey and the other weapons. And it's just weird to me that McDermott, now that Dable's gone, he's getting a chance to have even more power. And this balance thing keeps coming up. He talks about it often tonight, and it makes me squirm, man. Every time I hear it, it makes me squirm.
Well, the last three games, the running game has been a great compliment. But, Nickel City Crew, key word there is compliment. It's not the whole steak dinner. It's the potato on the side, right?
Right.
The prime rib is 1.7. The prime rib is 1.7. The
Right.
run game's the potato. So you can't, you can't disrespect the chop house by only eating the potato and not touching the steak. And they don't do it. It's not like they're only running the ball, but in this case, they have to stick to the complement of the run game. It can't be a focus per se. I mean, in this game, we're second down runs for any team, any situation, I think is the dumbest play in NFL, in football history. What is
stupid.
Second down runs are absolutely horrible. And you get,
Worthless.
in a second and short situation, and you pitch it out to James Cook for a -6, and now you're in 3rd and 7. That's definitely not productive. So you look at the best way to open up the run is the line. The line had their worst game of the year.
Yes.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll say that. The line
the
offensive line definitely looked the worst they did, even if the Jets game, they looked worse in this Jacksonville game. And the run game, I wouldn't say they were, forcing the run as much. Like I was looking at the mix, it wasn't that crazy compared to other games, but it wasn't efficient as it has been in the past couple of weeks. So those are the
so scrap it. Go away from it. Stop doing
it. Exactly. But
you
start the game off with a 5-yard, scamper. Damian Harris comes in, gets some positive yardage, but then you're in the second short, and then you're throwing that 12 personnel, 3-yard, 4-yard out routes. And now you're in 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. What the balance and the conservative is, we say he's over on the defense side of the ball. Maybe he's got a very creative offensive coordinator, a young kind of, creative guy in Ken Dorsey. So I'm not buying into the fact that he's going like, hey, run the ball. We're a conservative team. Like we're not there, and we're far from it. We've seen conservative. We've seen Shane Gailey. We've seen this team be conservative. So we're far from that. But the fact of, maybe in some of these situations, especially going, we're seeing fourth and 1, 4th and 3 from the 40-yard line, from the 43-yard line, and we're not even thinking about going for it. Yeah. That's the shit, maybe the conservative, like in a game where we're having trouble trying to find a rhythm, maybe a couple fourth down conversions would get us going in a situation like that.
Create some juice.
So I would argue, like, I hear what you're saying. But I don't think we're there yet, because Josh Allen doesn't need much. He just needs a little touch of this running game to be successful. And that defense to literally move from their heel to their toe, and you're screwed. So that's all he needs. And that's what he's got in the last 3 games. And that's why it's looked so good, because the defense doesn't know what's coming. So it's easy to run, it's easy to pass. So I'm not buying into the whole fact that, he's pushing the run down the offensive throats. I think if the run's not working, then we need to get downfield a little more and not do these 12 personnel, 3-yard, 4-yard out routes. But then when you get in a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, get up and go for that to spark some in your team. So I would argue that's where he was more conservative than trying to push a run. It was more, not taking a chance when you could have went for it on a few 4th downs in a game where your team really needed a spark and by all means, a wake-up call.
I mean, that 4th and 10, it looked like a great opportunity to create some juice, some energy, provide something. Some people don't like that.
I can be back with on the 4th and 10, whatever. I'm talking the 4th and 3 from the 43 and the 4th and 1 from the 40.
Yeah, those are situations where you need your coach to kind of step up and maybe create some energy on a day that you're across. You're across
the pond. Doesn't have to be every time,
right? But a little bit lethargic. You should have the heartbeat of your team. Your finger should be on the pulse of the team. So even if he notices that they're a little bit sluggish, even if he notices that they're a little bit, out of sorts, so to speak, I want him to have the pulse to kind of, okay, let me create a little bit of energy right now. Let's go for it here. And let's keep the offense on the field, and I'll show some faith in them and that type of thing. And I've always thought that McDermott will lean towards conservative on those. And
you get one of those first downs. Great. Now you're rolling, and you see what happens. But it also brings the team up. Like, hey, oh shit, we're going for it on 4th down. Like, we got to really buckle in and get, like, it's been a start. Like, we got to get it rolling. So there's a lot of things that gives to a team in those situations. And so that's where I would argue, him being more conservative in this game.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. I will, because I'm always on McDermott's ass. So I will continue to monitor him throughout the season as we begin to transition. DT, the other side of the ball, it was just horrible. Our thoughts and prayers. We already extended them out to Trey White, and then the next week Von comes back and he's on a pitch count, and Matt Milano, he was playing at an all all-pro level. I had no doubts in my mind that he was going to continue that type of play. It looked like he was going to be on track for his second straight all-pro selection this year. And then your boy Dede, I mean, Daquan Jones quietly was playing better than Ed Oliver. It was just Ed Oliver was getting some of the more attention because of the fact that he's making some of the more of the plays. He's got a bunch of sacks. I think he's second among defensive tackles in sacks. We already talked about his pressures and different things like that, but all of it started from your boy Daquan Jones, who's been playing like a beast all season long and providing that pressure up front. They both go down with injuries. It looks to be long-term. I know Sean McDermott did not put anything definitive saying season ending on either of them this week when he talked to the press. But, it looks like it's going to be for, it'll be a long time. It'll probably be December, January before you can even think about either one of them coming back. And that's hopefully if Matt Milano doesn't have any structural knee damage on that play when he got rolled up on. But just a horrible turn of events. I mean, I know Taron Johnson went down. He came back in the game. Some other guys were banged up and came back in. But the two biggest was Milano and Daquan Jones, who have both been playing so well for this defense. And it just, you could say next man up, and I understand that is the football moniker, and we do the same thing for my oldest King Bobby, him and his football team, and we say the same thing. Somebody goes down, we gotta, that's why we practice and that's why we rep and stuff like that. But the starters are starters for a reason. There's no way to get around it. That's why they're the starting 11 on offense and defense when they go out there on the field. And it's going to be really, really hard to replicate the things that they brought to this defense because, again, they were both on all-pro levels, if you ask me, especially Milano. It sucks, DT. This is the game. They always say football is a game, and it's a war of attrition, so to speak, and who's the healthiest at the end of the year. Really sucky, really shitty to see those guys go down because they really were playing really well.
Yeah, in a situation of this game being so crummy to begin with, and the offense is going shit, and 9:30 a.m. and then your top players are out and at all three levels is tough to see. And the Daquan Jones injury, was made one of the best plays I've ever seen by a defensive lineman. He got through that line literally so fast. It was almost like he got to the running back. He was like confused how fast he got to the running back.
He surprised him. Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm already in the backfield. Like, they kind of overran the tackle and, extended the pack. And then, the next drive with Milano and after the illegal hands to the face, when they stop him on third down, illegal hands to the face with Ed Oliver. And then it's like, oh, wait, who's down? Oh, it's Matt Milano. And it's like, what the hell is going on?
I didn't even see, he came in late to the pile. Yeah, he came in late to the pile. It puts
you in a bad, mindset because you never want to be like it's not fair, we're cursed, or, but, like, shit like that happens, and, like, you're instantly like, what the heck? Like, come on. Like, this could be the year, and then shit like this happens, and, like, I'm not saying that, we're writing it off by any means, but this is why we have depth. This is like you said, but
it takes the air out of the building, though. It takes the air out. It takes the air
Trey White was big, but we got the guy. We went through it last year, so we kind of know what that's going to look like for coming up. We know we got an idea how that's going to roll out. Defensive line, one of our deepest spots on the team.
Right.
That I think that it's going to be a big loss, we bring in guys to do that. And Jordan Phillips played great, I think, when he got on the field the rest of that game. Matt Milano is going to be really tough to replace. You got other guys in there. We got depth. You have your draft picks with Dorian Williams for a reason.
He's flying around out there.
Obviously, you'd rather have your all pro in there. So it puts me in a bad mindset of like, oh man, like it's not fair, and like saying stuff like that in my head that I hate when I get to that because that's not how you should live life and by any means. But it sucks, man. It really does. And how it all happened, even win or loss, that would have sucked. Obviously, with Trey White, it was horrible with the blowout win, but the way it all kind of transpired and the way, the defense rallied and really held their own the rest of the game. But that's three levels of probably your best players at all three levels. And my immediate thought is calling for a trade. But I don't know.
I don't even know what you do, man. I don't know what you do. I know they brought Josh Norman in, but I don't know really what. how do you can't replace Milano, number one. So that's got to be a community effort.
Klein.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Dorian Williams. You brought Balen Spector back.
Yeah.
And you got to continue trade. Bernard's got to be playing, up tick. But all these dudes are playing good because of 58. That's the thing.
Exactly.
So
he's raising the level of their play.
Yeah. And that's, you see teams make trades all the time, and they're like, damn, how'd they get that guy for a 4th or 5th round? But for these exact situations, you draft dudes in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round to come in and be starters in this situation. And a team where this is going to be super heavy cap in the top heavy. There's going to be a lot of players we pay. You need to have those draft picks to refill and have starters for. So you're kind of in a catch-22 here, and not hoping for any injuries across the league, but hoping some other teams kind of have some bings and bruises too, so you can kind of equal out with your ragtag refills. So we can only hope that goes, and hope Sean McDermott really has his pulse on this defense and gets it done, the magnum opus of making it happen with whoever's out there. But we're going to see, significant differences, obviously, with this defense. And, so I challenge the crew and I challenge Mafia to be, mindful of that. It doesn't mean that's the excuse of, getting beat and getting burned the rest of the year, of saying, oh, well, we didn't have Milano, Trey White, or whatever. Like, we still have to be productive. But, be mindful the rest of the year that, you're going to have to swing with the punches. But all the more reason now that offense is going to have to lift it up. And,
Bingo. Because the defense is playing well. I mean, the defense has been playing well. They're top 5 in the league and in almost every, metric that matters, including, obviously points allowed and DVOA, yada, yada, yada. So I know we don't get heavy into stats, but they've been top tier. So McDermott's been doing a great job with the defense. I mean, I'm not going to start to nitpick that. I just want everybody to realize that you don't replace guys like Matt Milano. So it's going to have to be a community effort. Dorian Williams, I saw him out there. He's running fast, making some mistakes. That's fine. We teach the kids on Bobby's team. If you're going to make, if you're going to make a mistake, make it fast. That way I can coach it and I can coach you up on it, but don't do it slow. So at least he's got half of that down. He's making mistakes, but he's doing it fast. And I know he's got some athleticism. So we'll see what he can do. You already talked about TB. Terrell Bernard, he's going to have to kind of just elevate his game. So you kind of, when injuries like this happen to some of your top players, you really are, you're absolutely right, DT. You're calling on your other guys to step up and kind of do a little bit more. So we'll see if they can, if they got it in them, because it's going to be necessary now. I'm with you, DT. I don't think the season's over or anything like that. I'm not going to write off the season. It's only week 5 or week 6,
There's
whatever
depth.
it is.
We talked all off season about this depth of how much more deep this team is than in previous years, and we're going to need it.
Yeah, you're going to have to show it now. As we transition, DT, before we get forward to Sunday Night Football, and start talking about that, I've got one last thing to talk about from this game, and then we'll transition, man. I got into arguments with, mad people, DT. My ex-wife and I were arguing after the game. People just argue. I'm text messaging my cousin, and we're arguing about this jet lag shit, man, is really starting to get on my nerves. I had to get your opinion on it. I don't care if we don't agree on it or not, but I wanted to get your opinion on it, and I know we didn't talk about it too much pre-show. DT, if I hear one more person tell me that the Bills came over too late and it's on McDermott and then the Jags were sitting over there for 12 days and stuff like that, I am in the no excuses business. I don't know if that is the coach in me. I don't know if that is the professional in me, or that's just the way that I live my life. But I think it might be a combination of all of it. You can't make excuses. So whatever is going on is going on, and the circumstances are the circumstances, and then you've got to figure out a way to get through it. I don't give a shit that they came over on Thursday. I don't care that they had to sleep on the plane. And then, they said, stay up on Friday. I mean, we talked about it. You and I even talked about it on the crew last week. And, that's normally the protocol, is to stay up and then you go to bed that night, Friday, and then you try to catch up on that sleep on Saturday. I don't care about any of it. I don't give a damn about when they came over. I don't care how long the Jaguars were over there waiting for us. I think it's all excuses. I think it's all spilled milk and everybody crying over that. And I think that it's just a weak argument personally. Now, some sports science people, maybe yourself, will tell me that it absolutely mattered and stuff like, I heard everything, DT. I heard that it doesn't even matter really until you come back. And then that's really the biggest adjustment. Then I heard, people calling up WGR. Well, I've traveled internationally for 30 years and it is, it's really, the jet lag is really the worst when you come home and it's not that big of a deal and all this. And I'm sick of it. I know that Bills Mafia, Nickel City crew, after a loss, we are looking for reasons. Had the Bills won that game, would the Jaguars have said, man, I really miss my bed, and I really miss my wife, and I really miss my girlfriend and my kids, and that's why we lost the game? They would sound ridiculous if they did that. So I just don't give it much credence, DT. I wanted to get your 2 cents on it. I don't care if we align on it or anything like that. I think it's a weak excuse. They came over when they came over. They didn't have to come over Monday. They could have. Yes, they could have. And they still could have laid an egg and put out a shitty performance. Where do you stand on the DT? Because I'm so happy that it's Wednesday. I know we air these episodes on Thursday, so most everybody is starting to turn the page towards the Giants. But, man, those first couple days, listening to everybody on the radio bitch and moan about jet lag was really – it was halfway pathetic to me, because I know that if we won the game, we wouldn't even be talking about
it. It was obvious they were sluggish out there.
Okay.
Yeah. But I agree.
I'll give you that. They've done that. They've done that here in America. Yeah. They've done that at the Ralph.
It's not an excuse. I mean, the excuse, it was obvious they were sluggish, and it is what it is. But you guys, know how much this game means, as an NFL player is going through this. Even if you are sluggish, you got to find a way to get up. So I don't think it was more or less. I think it was just an overall,
professional, man. You got to get up.
Just down in that. What kind of spoke out to me was the Roger Goodell interview. You see any of this? The Roger Goodell interview about this?
I did.
So he.
Yeah, I heard on Twitter that everybody's bitching that they use this as lab rats, basically.
Yeah, open-minded, right? I'm not trying to be oh, it's not fair, this is BS, but it was kind of he kind of said it. He kind of was well, we wanted to push them a little later to see. So what was it? NFL telling them they couldn't come over till Thursday? And then, maybe it was a little sluggish and whatever. If that's the case, that's kind of BS if that's the case. But if it's not, and the Bills just decided to do it, and you got to find a way to get up and get ready. Kyrie Elam is getting burnt, and they say, oh, he hasn't played for 5 weeks. Shouldn't he give some slack? And McDermott's he's in the game. He's got to be ready to play. And that's the same, for the whole
that's
team.
Across the board.
Yeah. We got there Thursday. We're a little tired. Whatever. You still got to be ready to play. So I agree. I'm not using it as an excuse. Or you're still in the game. But
you do think that it played a part, though. You think that it was a part.
I think they were sluggish. Okay. I don't know if it was specifically from that, and I don't think that's why they lost the game. I think that the defense held their own and played and defended for 80 plus plays. They played 2 games of defense.
Yes.
2 games of defense, and we're still making plays at the end. And the offense just couldn't move the ball. It's not because Josh Allen didn't get 12 hours of sleep the night before he couldn't throw a 12-yard out route. Or
missed Diggs on that underthrow 50-yarder, and Diggs has to stop for it. It could have been a touchdown.
That's not. Oh, if they would have got there Wednesday, he's putting it an inch away. And so I agree. That's all BS. You gotta hold this team accountable and hold your $300 million quarterback accountable, not just because he got a few bad sleeps in him that they're going to lose the game, because shit happens here, and you could be sluggish and whatever, and we've seen it. And like I said, last time I went down to Jacksonville, they look sluggish as hell too. So it's not that's all BS.
It's not going to London.
It's not why we lost it's not why we lost the game. I think that was a factor, and we definitely didn't look sharp, and maybe that had something to do with it. But it's not there. But if the Roger Goodell thing and the NFL forced the Bills for a money thing, oh, we want to put a team over here, so we want to see how this works out, and then that's how it worked out.
I didn't take his comments that way. I thought that was more towards Jacksonville, why they stayed and stuff like that. I don't think that they would mandate to the Bills what to do with their team. I don't think that it kind of works that way. They can't tell the Bills, when they're coming over. The hotels are available, so whenever you guys want to come over, the hotel's going to be ready for you. That type of thing. They allot that time and those spaces for those teams to come over.
Both teams playing this week. Who's it? Ravens
and Jaguars play this week. Yeah, they do. They came back. They're playing somebody.
No, Ravens are in London.
Oh yes, Ravens. Yeah, they're playing the Titans. Yeah, they're playing the Titans.
They're both of those teams are there yesterday.
Okay. So we'll see. It's just interesting. I thought it was a weak excuse. I got into a couple arguments with some people. Like I said, my ex-wife and I were going back and forth, and she was saying, it was a long trip, and I'm just like, that is not why they just look like that out there. Yeah. There's no way.
I don't agree with the whole London game in general. I think it's stupid. To go over there and to spread it. The NFL is big enough. If people in Europe want to watch the NFL, they get
your
YouTube
asses up
TV and the
yeah,
Sunday
watch.
Ticket and watch it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I
like
know.
it's
And the turf, and the guys were talking about. I heard Chris
yeah.
Brown from the Buffalo Bills, who's filling in for John Murphy on the play-by-play right now while John is recovering, talking about how the he was walking around during the stadium tour, and he's like, this shit sucks. You know what I mean? Because they put down the carpet, they don't want the Bills to come in there and tear up the field and stuff like that. And I don't know if that attributes to injuries or anything like that.
I just more grass down though. Put more grass down. Like if you're a big enough organization to own a day of the week and expand to London and make billions and billions of dollars. Well, if they don't want their grass tore up, lay other grass down there. Like I don't understand how they can't figure this shit out. Like
it's annoying.
Every day, like the players are bitching about this,
and that's across the league too, DT.
And they continue to just not do anything. And like how expensive is it to roll out grass in every stadium there is? Like,
today I heard an article on ESPN that's saying that the NFL is trying to tell the players that it's really hard. It's not that easy, and it's not that easy in cold weather cities and stuff. I'm like, come on, you guys literally print money. You can't figure out how to get a grass.
In Arizona in the dome, it literally
roll it out.
Roll it out. Like
I don't know.
One. Like
it's crazy. It's just funny because it always talk about player safety and they don't mean it. They always talk about, different things that they don't care about and different initiatives that they really don't care about, that they put end racism in the end of the end zone after the Colin Kaepernick thing. They put on the back of helmets and all this other bullshit. They'll do the military stuff and all this other bullshit. It's all about the money. So again, we always want to remind everybody here at Nickel City Crew, I've been saying it since the beginning of my time recording. This is a business. Do not forget that it's a business. They care about the money chiefly and mainly. And they do show it because the players have been griping about this natural grass and wanting it uniform across the league for forever. Forever.
That's no hidden thing. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I scratch the London thing. I'm all set on going over there. And I'm sure as hell glad I didn't spend the $10,000 to go over there.
Oh, God, I felt so bad for those people. I felt so bad because that's how I feel.
I'm sure everyone had a good time. Everybody looked like they enjoyed their week. And obviously the game was
I know, but it does put a damper on it.
Screw that, man.
It does put a damper because anytime I go up to a game and I drive 1,300, the 650 up is great. And then, I have a great time with you and I have a great time with my peoples. That 650 coming back after a loss, I'm pissed as hell as I'm driving down through Erie and stuff like that. And it's not that I feel like I wasted my time or my money, but it kind of does feel like I wasted my time and my money, and if that makes any sense. So I hope that everybody did have a great time over the pond. Now, as we transition and we begin to wrap up, we'll look ahead real quickly to this Giants game. We won't break it down too much because I don't think quite frankly, the Giants aren't really worth it. And that's just my 2 cents on it. And if it comes back to bite me, then I'll take that bad karma. It says that, under the lights, man, there's something special about those games, DT. Sunday Night Football will be in town. I think it's Mike Tirico in Collinsworth. And, just something special about those games. I know I'd sent down a message wondering who's going to be coming up for the tailgate. I know you and I will hook up. We're going to be doing the tailgate report here in a moment. It's just fun. Something fun about the night games. I got an email from the Bills that said they're going to have synchronized bracelets sitting on our seats.
DT, which they had.
The intro.
Yep. Which they had the Monday night game in MetLife that I went to.
Oh, they did.
It was dope.
Okay, I was going to say it seems like a cool concept. It should look pretty dope. That's literally what I put in my notes. So you've already experienced it. So it's cool because I kind of got excited when I saw it. I was like, okay, cool.
Yep. They move them around and like you see it happen and it's cool. It is cool. Yeah.
So that should be a nice little feature. The Bills will go up against the Dolphins again. It's the Brian Dable Bowl. It's Tyrod Taylor if Daniel Jones can't go. We got Isaiah Hodgins. I mean, there's a whole bunch of guys over there in New York that are very familiar with One Bills Drive. Very familiar. Joe Shane, their GM, is obviously the protege from Brandon Beane. So it's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of people that know each other. A lot of guys are going to probably go out and get a steak the night before or go get some wings and get a chance to kind of yuck it up. I don't think McDermott and Dable will be getting any wings together anywhere, but it still should be fun to kind of see that reunion because these are just two teams that have really kind of ripped from each other. Obviously, with Dable going over there with Shane to the Giants, and they're having some tough times. They had some success last year, making the playoffs and sneaking in, and then obviously winning that playoff game. I respect them. You all know here at Nickel City Crew how much affinity I have for Brian Dable and just the job that he did with Josh Allen. Again, not so much play design all of the time, but he did have layup lines for Josh. But again, being able to rein in 17 and bring the best out of them, I think that's a part of coaching. I think that's what makes great coaches is getting the best out of your players. My goal for basketball, football, whatever, is with my kids and the other kids that I'm coaching, is to try to bring the best out of them. Dable did a great job with Josh Allen, so it'll be fun to see him back in town, and the Bills really should get to work, man, for sure, because this team is not good. They're not playing good football right now, and they're hurt too.
Up until 2 or 3 years ago, Rob, I'd never even been to a night game in the stadium.
Really?
Okay. The Monday night
Dallas game,
Patriots.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't go to that one. But the Monday night Patriots game when we had to start Derek Anderson. That was the first night game.
Yeah,
first night game I ever went to in the stadium. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
That was what, there 5 years ago?
Yeah, longer than that.
Ago?
Yeah, something like that.
This is something new for the Mafia. This is something fun for the Mafia. And yeah, it's dope. I mean, obviously we're going to be, our main crew is going to be there, and, a lot going on. I get Sunday nights tough, especially for our kids, friends that are traveling from farther away. And obviously nobody traveling farther than you, but you know what I mean.
Got kids and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be a good night. Football weather to the T. As we talked earlier, hopefully no rain, and we can keep it in the 40s, and we'll enjoy it. But the get back on track is huge. They're wearing the all red unis. We're in the color rush game. Yep.
Thank you for telling me that. I didn't even notice. I will have to switch my wardrobe. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was going to wear red. White jersey. I'm wearing red
and
now.
A team where where we've seen this defensive line be stronger than it has been in recent years, going up against probably the worst offensive line in history.
Yeah,
so that's got to be. That's got to be taken care of, and get some pressure off the rest of this defense of the linebackers and of these defensive backs and these dudes fighting for their life out there with Dane Jackson and Kyrie Elam and Christian Benford. Like, give them some relief and get to whatever quarterback it is. If it's Tyrod, and I don't think we're seeing a revenge game from Tyrod. A revenge game would be 2-20-1. It's going to be a revenge game from Tyrod Taylor. And Dan Jones just looks like he's so far, out of touch, and confidence is lost in all regards. So you might see Saquon Barkley back, which could be, a gasher on us if Jones is out, and obviously Jones will be out, but you know what I mean.
I don't know if he's going to be out. I don't think that's been ruled out yet. I don't think Jones is. No,
I'm talking Daquan.
Oh yeah, Daquan Jones. Yes.
Yeah, so he will be out. So so if Saquon Barkley is in, you might see some gashes there, and got to contain and 17, go again. Do what, prove everybody wrong. I mean, people weren't getting on you like they were after the Jets game this week, but there's still some.
He played a good game. I thought he played a good game.
Yeah, it just was frustrating. So get out there and get the ball downfield and maybe force something. Like, I'm telling you to force something Sunday night. Let's get us rolling. Let's get the stadium loud. Let's get our wristbands popping, and let's get out of there with a 14-point favorites. I mean, by God, let's do it.
Biggest spread in the league already. It says this year to date, it was at 14.5 on a lot of books, and now it just ticked down to 14. But it was funny, as we wrap up tonight, I was just talking like, I remember growing up high school, junior high basketball, and I was big on basketball playing and stuff like that. And we would call it stat night. That was when, no disrespect to anybody in the crew that's listening from Roy Hart, but like Roy Hart, all those schools out there in the boonies, like besides that, Albion was our rival, but Roy Hart, Wilson, like if we were playing one of those schools, we're like, okay, fellas, it's stat night. Like everybody get a piece tonight. Everybody go ahead and get off tonight. And you just knew that like the team that we're getting ready to play has nothing for us. So come out, be focused, be ready to go. And then that's how we would juice each other up. It's like, it's stat night. Like I might get 12 assists tonight. You know what I mean? I might get 4 steals or whatever the case may be. And that's how we used to think of those games. So this is definitely a stat night worthy game where everybody gets their confidence back. Everybody gets a chance to feel great about themselves. And that's a real thing in sports. I know it sounds silly and I'm joking about it, but that is a real thing in sports. Everything in sports is about confidence. It really is. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your coaching and stuff like that, then you're probably not going to put a good product out on the field or the court, wherever you're playing. And this is screaming stat night to me. That's why I put it in the notes. I'm like, this is stat
I love
night.
that.
This is Roy Hart.
I mean, not so much in football. I was on the field in football, but basketball, I was we'll call it a strict role player, Rob. I didn't, so these games I call jersey nights. Get the washer ready. We're gonna have to actually wash the jersey tonight. I'm gonna get some burn out there.
You're gonna get some run. Yeah, you're gonna get some run.
I'm gonna be in the first half in this one.
My goodness, I love it. I definitely love it, man. Thank you for taking me down memory lane with that one, because confidence is important, and everybody should get an opportunity to get their confidence, because this team is primed for the taking. As we wrap up tonight, presenting the Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report, which we've gotten some great feedback from, so we appreciate
love
that.
it.
Yeah, man. Presented by 26 Shirts here on the Buffalo fan base, which again is the Bills Mafia, podcast network. Head on over to 26 Shirts. All of the proceeds go to a great cause each and every time. People that are going through different things like that. They got great t-shirt designs. Our boy Del Reed, the Godfather, runs that over there at 26shirts.com. So head over there anytime. They all support a great cause with each and every purchase. DT, as we wrap up tonight, the tailgate report, man, I wasn't up at 6, but I was up at 7, man. And I mean, I was ready to go, man. I know I got a picture from you a little bit right before kickoff, man. I mean, I've got this little flat top thing on the grill so I could take out the grates of the grill, and then I could put the flat top in. And it's like, just it's a portable grill, so to speak. And boy, I oiled that thing up. I got some coffee, and I was just outside. I had the radio on, WGR was on, and I've got it kind of playing through the speakers. Not too loud. I wasn't trying to wake up the neighbors too much, but they knew I was getting ready for a game. They knew that the Bills must be playing a little bit earlier that day because it was definitely playing. And I was just getting everything going, man. I think I sent out a picture on Instagram. I think I tagged you in it, man. We did it up, man.
Yeah.
The baby mamas helped out. They came over, and my ex-wife, my ex-girlfriend, they came over. The kids were all around, and my kings were running around crazy and having a good time. And we cooked it up, man. I did the meats, I did the veggies on the griddle, and they took care of everything else. We had eggs, we had potatoes, we had the peppers, onions, and mushrooms. We had everything going. Waffles for the kids. I mean, they really did have a blast, and it was really cool to see everybody come together for the Bills. The Bills bring everyone together. The Bills are family. So it was really cool, man. Mad mimosas. I had maybe 2 or 3 too many. But by the time the game was over, I was pissed off and tired. But we had a great time, man. DT, what was it like in your neck of the woods? I saw a picture from you, man. That was what it was down here in Charlotte, man. I was up at 7, man. I was ready to go.
That was respect. You were making me a little nervous last week when you were talking about, I hope I get up. I hope I don't sleep through it. Saying shit like that. So, I was happy to see you were up at it, getting those sausages on the grill. Kudos. That spread was top notch. That's a beautiful breakfast. I'm sure everyone ate well, and you guys had a good time. But yeah, no, I had a great as a loyal Nickel City Crew, Kai and Paige, the Vikings fans, their parents are Bills fans, and they do it right. Every Sunday they have something going for football, but obviously this one was a little different being the morning. So had some good drinks. Had the mimosas, had the bloodies, had some restaurant style bloodies. I mean, we're talking on the skewer. We had the shrimp, the cheese, the pepperoni, the bacon, the big time. Yep, the big time bloodies. And then we did breakfast pizza from this place called Astral General down in my hometown. Nice little general store. They make a killer breakfast pizza. The key ingredient with that, instead of the sauce, they do like a cream cheese sauce on it.
Ooh, wow, that's got to go good with the egg. That's got to go good with the egg.
It's real good. It's thick. It's rich. I won't lie. Nickel City, we had some stomach bubbling the next couple days after. But we're older now. We're in that older crowd that you can't bang garbage like we used to, Rob. So
yeah, man. That's
something to be mindful of. But it was a strong day. I just love that vibe of getting up and getting going. It's always, I talk about being jealous of the people on the West Coast where they can just wake up and balls on. They wake up on a Sunday and it's balls. So it was kind of that feeling, and waking up early and just cracking that first one out on the porch and just taking that fall air in.
Crisp air.
It's a good feeling, a good vibe. And, obviously the letdown of a game, but the lead up was great. The tailgate was great. I had the people going. We were playing the shout song. We were getting rocking, and
beautiful.
When it came time to ball, everyone was ready, was well fed, was ready to rock. So we thoroughly enjoyed the day. Shout out to the host there, and it was a good one.
Absolutely, that's awesome, man. Tell Paige that I'm still mad at her for beating me week 1 in fantasy. I still haven't gotten over that. I continue to have the worst luck in your damn league. I lost by point
worst luck.
1. I said I have the worst luck in your league. I lost by 0.15 points.
I saw that.
I was what in the ham sandwich is going on Monday? I'm like, this is ridiculous. And you know what I mean? I'm chilling, and I'm like, my girlfriend's like, what are you yelling at? And I'm like, I'm talking to my phone, baby. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I was just Oh, I'm so sick of that league already. But thank you again for inviting me.
Well,
DT.
you're sick. I'm the commissioner. And I'm in the basement at 1-4, and
Oh
I can't buy a win. I scored 180 points last week and still lose. So,
oh my goodness, it's so funny. It's funny, man. The plans for this week, DT, like you said, the tailgate will be a little bit lighter, but you already know I'll be bringing my best friend, longtime best friend since 7th grade. Shout out to Star Point basketball ace. Aaron Mobley will be there again. Shout out to Buffalo's best opticians. So check them out. They're on Delaware. They're on Transit. Check them out. The Buffalo's best opticians. Yeah, he'll be coming to the game with me. My best friend since forever. My brother from another mother. So you know him well. We always try to catch a game now. He's got kids, and everything just changes when you have kids, DT. And you don't have them yet, but everything changes. So we don't go to as many games together as we used to, but we marked this one down. We wanted to be at a night game if we could, so this was better than the Thursday night game. And I can't wait, man. I'm going to fry a turkey for you guys. I'm going to give you the best of the best. Do my best. I literally just got all the stuff together today to make sure that I'm ready to go for it, man. So inject a turkey Saturday night, put it in the fridge, and I'll be out there bright and early. Sometime in the afternoon, not too early for a night game. You got to pace yourself. It's 8:20 kickoff. I don't even know what time the grass slots open, but I know that they'll be ripping and revving by noon or so. For sure, somebody will be there. An attendant will be taking your money by 11 or 12 o'clock at the latest, I would assume. So we'll get out there in good fashion, and then we'll meet up with you later in the night, and I'll fry you guys a turkey, and we'll have a good time, man. So I'm excited, man. I'm always excited when I get a chance to see you. And click clack, we back, man. We got to make some t-shirts. I got to get in contact with Dell. I already sent him a message on Twitter. We got to get some t-shirts out, man. I want click clack, we back, man. I mean, Nickel City Crew, we back in, and I can't wait to see you, man. As always, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I mean, it, like I said, a little lighter, but it'll be cool just to chill. We're older now. We can kind of just watch the mayhem around us and, and take it in and get ready for that night game. Depending on when you up Saturday, like I said, I cleared out my Saturday schedule. We got Sabre season starting off this week, so Sabres at Islanders Saturday night.
Okay, cool.
The boys, we're gonna be out on the town catching that. So we'd love to have the crew link up and catch that. We'll talk about that, off air a little bit. But gonna be a good weekend, good day, nice, perfect fall. We're in football weather now.
Yep.
And I'll be ready to get a little taste of that turkey.
Yeah, can't wait for sure, man. As always, I appreciate your time tonight, DT, and taking time out of your night. Please, everybody, spread love, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit them with a go, Bills, DT. I'm excited, man. I mean, this Jacksonville London shit, it was on my nerves, but I'm ready to shake it off. I'm ready for stat night. I'm ready to go crush the Roy Hart Rams. I'm ready to go put up a triple double, man. So let's get after it, man. I can't wait to see you.
Go Bills. 4-2.
Go Bills.